Once again, the Fiend will rule this channel because he's first in command. No matter what you do, you can shoot your pie gun, you can shoot fruit cannons, you can do whatever you want, whether it's the cloudy with a chance of meatballs. But the Fiend is neither. Okay, he's either go to bed, he's neither. He's more like in the middle of neutral zone, or I don't know what is he want, but he does like me, however. Even though I am second in command, he is first in command. So get used to it, and there is nothing you can do about it because this is the Fiend's house. This is the Fiend's channel, and he rules by the channel and dies by the channel. Not really, though. Does not die by the channel. So, oh my. But he does give this another request about this, so because he controls the Japanese anime, manga, TV series, and movies whenever he wants. He also does have Kirito's number because he has picked his poison and found Kirito's weakness. He likes more than one woman, and he will make Asuna really jealous. Violet! Anyways, we're then this topic from the Fiend's request is about 10 funniest English dub moments of Sailor Moon. So yes, so why this one? Why? Because remember, the Fiend trolls in the Japanese anime universe no matter what. Sailor Moon's classic DIC dub provided some of the funniest moments due to the dialogue and translation. So yeah, and I love it. It's really funny. When it comes to the Sailor Moon anime, there are quite a few options to pick from. Most notably, the original Japanese version, the DIC/Cloverway English dubs, and the VIZ, the Viz English dub. Each one has its own unique qualities, but they all have their fair share of humor. However, the classic Sailor Moon DIC dub has its own wackiness that brings a lot of hate, but it may just be the most hilarious version of the show. From the voice acting choices to the dialogue to the animation, there are many different funny moments to choose one. But how should they be ranked? Well, let's go for the top 10 in no particular order, shall we? Yes! Number 10, and here's one. Random accents. The original English dub gets a bad rep for its questionable localizations and homophobic adaptation. Remember, this is Arkham Twin Days Weekend Special, and this is Alliance Teen, not Alliance Youth. The homophobic adaptation of Sailors Neptune and Uranus's relationship. But the awful accents of Usagi, I mean, it's not that horrible. I mean, why would it be horrible? I mean, the one who voices Usagi Tsukino is the one who voices Yui from Sword Art Online. I mean, I'm not at odds at war. I'm not trying to be biased, okay? So I'm not. But the awful accents of Usagi's, continuing, hereinafter referred to as Serena, friend Naru, Molly, and the Sailor V movie animator Lori are pretty funny. While Lori has a southern U.S. accent that's comparable to that of X-Men's Rogue, she was only in one episode. However, Molly and her wild Brooklyn accent are a constant source of humor for fans. I mean, what? I'm not kidding. I've seen the English dub of the 90s because I mean the voice acting, like, yeah, that is something else. Oh my gosh. with a voice that makes her sound more like Harley Quinn, yes, Molly's dialogue will cause listeners to cringe. Like, I got a voice and I'm gonna do some fancy voicing, y'all. I'm gonna make everybody cringe to have my own voice method acting. Oh. No, I'm not. That's not how I do it. I mean, I can do a little better. I mean, there are others who can do their own method voice acting by practicing. Nobody's perfect, okay? Now, just because you do your own method voice acting doesn't mean it's bad, okay? So, everybody does have their quirks. Number 9. Ray humiliates herself at the arcade. While Ray is in R-A-Y-E from English, Ray and R-E-I in Japanese, which is the same name, likes to give Serena a hard time for her behavior. Ray isn't without her own immaturities and embarrassing moments. From trying to schmooze Serena's mom for helping with winning a sewing contest to geeking out over Mamoru, Darian, the latter of that which humiliates her in front of Motoki, Andrew, who works at the arcade. That's right. I do remember having that love moment between Serena and Andrew. It's like, yes, want to go for a dessert. The two are talking about martial arts, and when Andrew mentions that Darian is also into them, Ray begins to daydream about him and ends up falling down from a chair. Talk about 10 of the most outtakes to that which is not an outtake. Like, the outtakes that is not an outtake. Number 8, Nurse Mina to the rescue. Throughout episode 78, the Sailor Guardians, Sailor Scouts, and Luna are ill because of Esmeralda's Emerald latest plan. All except for Artemis and Minako. Also go by the name of Mina / Sailor Venus, who takes it upon herself to play nurse for her friends. However, it turns out that Mina is a disaster as a caretaker, and she ends up causing huge messes. The episode opens with her arriving at Ray's house and unleashing chaos by putting too much salt in her food and playing some soothing music too loud. This hilarious moment adds another side to Mina's personality. For those who watch the 90s, back then, if you guys know what I'm talking about, for those from other generations, older audiences, you get the idea of how that goes. Number 7. Amy has a smart tongue to go with her brain. Like, what? It's true. In Ray's introduction episode, Serena, Amy, which is the same name, A-M-I, A-M-Y, same thing, and Luna must get on a bus in order to investigate, and get this, investigate some disappearances. But Serena is scared of the bus driver. Like, why are you scared of the bus driver? By saying, "Hello, governor." While Amy is considered the sweetest member of the Scouts, even she has her limits with Serena's incensed crying and whining. Yeah, I mean, how does she pull this off? One thing that Sailor Moon fans know about Sailor Mercury is that some of the show's best singers come from her. As Serena wails, she says, "We should have measured that sound on the decibel scale someday." Number 6. Serena runs away from a doll. Like, what? Runs away from a doll! Okay. As the first season of Sailor Moon went on, Serena grew into her role, and when it came to saving her brother, Shingo, which goes by the English-American name Sammy, and his friend in episode 15, she showed a lot of confidence as she faced down the episode's villain. Yes, it's a doll, and no, this is not a movie of Child's Play. I've seen it, but I'm never watching that again, so don't ask. But the doll, think of it as like Lily from Alexa Bliss from WWE from Monday Night Raw. So yeah, Lily, who is the doll, and they're like, yes, that's the Lily version, but only this one is like the Lily version of the villain side. Luna even made a note of how she was putting on a good show before she asked how long it would last. However, when a tiny evil doll flew right at her, Serena fully fled the building, hilariously screaming for help. While she is transformed or not. I don't understand, but it is. I kind of remember she did scream when calling for help. Like, what? Number 5. Rey and those overalls. Yes, she wore overalls. I'm not kidding. Like, just because she wears on Japanese attire doesn't mean she wears it all the time. She wears normal clothing, for crying out loud. In terms of fashion trends, the 90s look is having a renaissance, thus making the From Sailor Moon as popular as ever. Part of this aesthetic is the fashion choices, and none are as notorious as Rey and her pink overalls from episode 17. In the episode, or episode 17, Amy and Luna call out Rey for her choices in clothing, leading Rey to make up an excuse, which Luna hilariously replies, "Yes, and I'm a purple cockatoo." Like, what? I don't, come on, what's wrong with wearing overalls? And yes, and I'm a purple cockatoo. It's like, hey, look, and I'm saying cock-a-doodle-doo and the cow says moo! Cock-a-doodle-doo and the cow says moo! I don't know what's going on with those two. I mean, it's just so hilariously downright funny. That no particular order from this is the ultimate Arkhamverse, and this is a lion scene and an Arkham Twin Days weekend special. You get to wear the kind of clothing that's really awesome, and like, what kind of clothing you have to wear that's overalls? Like, it's simple. I'm bringing the 90s back, except, oh, that is awesome. But doesn't someone own the 90s? Like, yeah, and what would that be? It's a country who owns the 90s. Like, oh, but wait, name what country? Simple. It's in the Far East. Okay? The Far East. But what is the country? Simple. Go to the Far East. Number 4. A feather quill fills Serena with fear. Like, what? I'm not joking. After Serena poses for a painting with Darien in an episode, an artful attack, the Negaverse gets a hold of the artist and turns her into a monster. I'm not joking. Who produces a quill pen as a weapon to use against Sailor Moon, completely disregarding the fact that the quills are meant to kill her. Sailor Moon exclaims, "Feathers? No! Don't tell me she's going to tickle me!" It's a throwaway line that is usually forgotten, but it's still a funny example of just how childish Serena is. Oh, great. Feathers? No. Yeah. All right, go ahead, super villain. Why not tickle me to death? Okay, I'll tickle you to death until you pass out in a submission move. Sure, I mean, is anyone, any wrestler of WWE try a submission move called the tickle? I mean, I don't know. It's nobody tried the submission move that's called the tickle. Like, how is that supposed to work to make someone tickle? Perhaps you can try to get them into a locking submission, which is the arm or the leg. I don't know, and however that works is up to you. My goodness, it just goes to show outrageously the most darnest things on from DIC dub. Number 3. Serena's reaction to the true identity of Tuxedo Mask, and she says that in a robotic way, some type of RoboCop voice. I remember it. She said it in a voice that's kind of yeah. She said it in a robotic voice with no emotion. After 30 episodes, Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask finally learn the other's identity, if you want to know, as they find themselves in a bind. First, it's Serena who transforms into Sailor Moon in order to save herself and Darien, but then she turns to see him pull a rose from under his coat, as I remember. Oh my. While the original Japanese version plays this moment as dramatic, the English dub takes a comedic route by pairing Sailor Moon's face with a gasp and the line, he is Tuxedo Mask, I don't believe it, in the most monotone voice. So it's kind of like robot voice, he's Tuxedo Mask, I can't believe it. It's in a monotone voice of a robot. Yes. It was the most hilarious thing I've ever heard of when I was very young. I'm yeah, that absolutely worked. I like it. It just make my heart drop. Number 2, Luna gets her own Tuxedo Mask. In episode 27, Luna finds herself getting chased down by a mob of cats and then cornered in a parking lot. Before it's too late, a single fishbone cuts the screen in the same fashion as Tuxedo Mask's roses, and a big, oddly colored cat is her savior. I'm not joking. The feline mob retreats and the cat starts licking Luna's wounds, much to her chagrin. Chagrin is a word. It turns out that the cat's name is Rhett Butler, Hercules, but what makes it so funny is Luna's priceless reactions to her new admirer, which is so kawaii. Number 1. Every single time Serena cries for no reason. She is the ultimate crybaby, and also one of the greatest tear jerkers, that she always does this all the time. Most of the time. Not all the time, just most of the time works than all the time, so most of the time, yeah. The secret weapons for comedy in the Sailor Moon dub are the voice acting skills of Tracy Moore and Terry Hawks. I didn't know who they were until I found out years later, which is really good. Tracy Moore and Terry Hawks, the original dub's first and second voice actors for Serena/Sailor Moon. Whiny, electric, and filled with personality, Moore and Hawk's skills shine all throughout their respective runs of the show. And their talent sparkled when they had to bring the crocodile tears. especially when Ray/Sailor Mars was introduced to the show and became an antagonist of sorts for poor, sensitive Serena. Yeah, it just goes to show you that she's like the ultimate crybaby, but she cries most of the time. Of course, the now who voices Serena/Usagi Tsukino is the voice actress who voices Yui from Sword Art Online, which is the AI, artificial intelligence, and also voices Hinata Hyuga from Naruto, the Naruto series, and also other Japanese anime. And also in this game as well, she is none other than Stephanie Sheh. Great voice actress. I mean, she voices Sailor Moon/Serena/Usagi Tsukino, like, hands down in complete no particular order. Like, she's really good. She can sound like a teenager. Like, yes! My gosh, and and it is absolutely amazing. I have not met her. She also voices other characters from Fire Emblem, if you want to know, from some Fire Emblem games, and from that point on. Great voice actress. Like, she is talented, very talented. Very well. I mean, it is priceless to have for those who do their own method voice acting to sound like teenagers, like, really well done. That is absolutely impressive. And speaking of besides Sailor Moon, of course, I don't know who voices Sailor Mars from the original dub, but I could look it up. I do know who does voice Sailor Mars on that. And it's none other than Cristina Venezuela, who voices, oh my gosh, Ladybug. From the adventures of Ladybug and Cat Noir, from, that show, yes. And also voices Shantae from the Shantae games, all but one. She's on the second, third, and fourth installment Shantae games. She's also voices some other characters from Fire Emblem, Cristina Venezuela. She voices Sailor Mars, like, very talented voice actress. Very great, very talented. Incredible. She's also from One Man Punch. Yeah. She does Japanese anime and also some non-Japanese anime, if you want to know. So you could look that up into it for that type of matter. To having these funny moments of Sailor Moon of the English dub version from DIC and also in the VIZ English version of English dubbing was, I mean, that, like, the audience is, I don't know how I feel about this voice acting. I mean, they were trying their best. I'm not saying nobody's perfect. They only did their best of what they could to put in the voice acting of how it shows what is so comedic and not so campy. Comedic drama, a slice of comedy, slice of life, a slice of romance, a slice of epicness, the epic adventure, heroism, that type, all that lifestyle. It just goes to show you, when you do your own method voice acting, you put your heart and soul into that voice. I mean, don't just like you want to don't just like act like that character. Become one with it. Become one with the character, heart, mind, and soul, and bingo. You're on your way to making this work on a YouTube video, and who knows, probably in the near future, for doing some method voice acting, you could be in a Japanese anime TV show series that's English dub, or in the DC or Marvel universe of what character you'll be in at. No matter what. That just goes to show you. I mean, for those fans of Sailor Moon who like to hear the original voice actresses and also the new ones, and especially the voices Sailor Mars, Sailor Venus, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Mercury, oh my gosh, and Sailor Neptune, Sailor Uranus, all that stuff. I mean, if they put their hearts and mind and soul into it by becoming one with that character, like, you must fit into that role. And it's like, you must love what you do instead of instead of pretending to be one, because it kind of doesn't work like that. If you want to try to put your work in progress into it, you just gotta work hard with that method voice acting, and you're all set to go. And like I said, who knows? Perhaps one day you might want to show out this person as a tryout, and then you might get a call in the near future. And for that, we are going to stop here for the time being, and I'll pick up another topic in the near future of this Arkham Twin Days special, and also an Arkham Twins Day. He's on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and tell me, what do you guys think of the Universal lore and more of Marvel's Spider-Man, of the 10 funniest moments of the English dub, which is just kind of so funny as I remember watching it in the 90s, which is incredible. Whee! Do you like it or hate it? Mash that like button and or share this video if you guys love this Universal lore and more, because as your friendly neighborhood superhero who takes chances, making mistakes, and getting messy, who likes peanut butter and chocolate and a breakfast for dinner, including the Fiend himself, Godspeed, play safe, and shalom. Remember to fight with honor, love, truth, and justice, and friendship is magic for everyone, and I'll see you guys next time for more of Arkham Twin Days. Whee!